Hey everybody, it's Mike, and I wanted to do a follow-up review of my Black Jack Western Rattlesnake boots. I received them about a month ago, and I wanted to do a follow-up review just to kind of give my thoughts and observations and kind of what I think about them since I've had them for a month, and I've been wearing them a lot. The first thing is I'll do a quick rundown of what the boots are and their specifications. So basically they're Black Jack Western Rattlesnake. I got the snip toe. I got the cowboy heel. It's the stacked leather heel. I think in my initial video about a month ago, I think I missed a couple of the details, but I'll try to cover them again real quickly before I get into the follow-up portion. But it's got the leather stacked heel. For the sole finish, I did a vintage natural, which I think works out perfectly with the color of the rattlesnake. As I mentioned, I chose Western Rattlesnake, and I really like them a lot. I did the snip toe, and I did or requested a shaft. It's a cowskin leather, hand tooled with the snake, green and yellow snake, and the blue roses as well. Now, some of my first quick impressions. Oh, also leather sole. I went with the leather sole, of course. And I think I forgot to mention that the Black Jack uses the lemonwood pegs as well as the nails. So I think those are some of the just basic specs of the boot. Also, one thing that I really liked about the boot is on the vamp, is that the seam, since they use multiple pieces, the seam, the top of the vamp is cut in it's not straight line. It's cut with sort of like a little, like a scallop to it. It's not a straight line. And I really liked that. At first I thought, oh, okay, interesting, and I kind of set it aside. But then I've seen some rattlesnake boots that are just the top part of the vamp is just a straight line. So it just sort of looks like a patch of the rattlesnake with another patch and another patch. Whereas the curved kind of cut in the top of the vamp sort of gives it a little more fashion look, like it's meant to be that way. I think it just looks better. So after I saw the top of the vamps of other boots that are just a straight line that just sort of look like a rectangular patch on a rectangular patch, I really started to appreciate the curved nature that the way they did this vamp. Anyway, so those were the quick specs, and I think I went over most of them in the initial unboxing video. What I wanted to really get into was the just a follow-up on how they feel and whatnot. Well, first of all, looks, 10 out of 10. I'm super impressed with the workmanship, just the overall look. You get many compliments. You walk into a room and people look when you're wearing these. Or at least it has when I have, and yeah, I looks 10 out of 10. Something that I do want to bring up right away is the feel. Okay, so these are my fourth pair of Black Jack boots, and the other three all fit exactly the same. I get the same size boots, and in my boots, I have like this multi-pack of boot socks. So it's basically the same socks I'm wearing in my boots. And so it's always an apples to apples comparison. And my other three Black Jacks all fit exactly the same. Perfect, just the way I like them. Not too tight, not crunching my foot, but then they're not like, my foot's not just flying around in in the boot. It's the fit that I like and works for me. But when I got these, same size, same boot socks, they were definitely snug. And I could tell that right off the bat. I'm like, they do not fit like my other Black Jacks. I'm a little bit worried, in fact. Well, so I wore them, I put them on, and I started wearing them just out in the back, just in the evenings when I'm home from work. I would just put them on for like about 20 minutes, walk around in the back, do some errands, just to sort of break them in, to stretch them out. And I was kind of worried that I'm like, why do these feel a little different than the other three? Other three feel exactly the same. These feel definitely a little bit more on the snug side. And I continued to do that for about a week, week and a half, and then I was wearing them quite often on the weekends and going out and stuff. And then they started to take shape. They started to like feel better, more comfortable. Definitely, I never had the pinching of the toes. They were just snugger than the other ones. So that it concerned me, and I did speak to somebody at Black Jack about that, and he said that was the first he had ever heard of snake skins being maybe tighter than other types of leathers. Well, I took these boots, the rattlesnakes, and my other blackjacks, and I put them like heel to sole, and matched them up, and they aligned perfectly. So the cutting of the sole was identical, and to multiple blackjacks. So I'm like, okay, it's not that. That's right on, and they all have the same. They're all snip toes, and they all have the cowboy heel. So it's all one-to-one comparison. And I know these are craft, and there could be like little differences here and there, because of not all being a machine template cookie cutter, but they did align. So for me, I guess it's just with rattlesnake. And in some of the comments for my review, a couple other um, posters did say that their rattlesnake boots, and I think from Blackjack as well, did come out tighter, even though it was the same size as their other boots. So I saw some consistency there. And I even did like an AI prompt, and it said that rattlesnake boots would become a little tighter, would seem a little tighter than other types of leathers. I thought that was interesting too. So it must be gathering its information from other comments elsewhere on other forums. So that seems to be a pattern. And I'm not sure if it's the type of leather, the rattlesnake skin, or the way they're just being made, or who maybe I'm not sure. I don't know. But anyway, luckily they weren't pinching my toes or anything. It were just a little bit snugger. The more I wore them, the more they did stretch out. And yeah, they fit fine now. I have no problem with it. I just wanted to bring that up as an initial concern, because right when I first put them on, I'm like, these do not feel like these. And just for comparison, these are two of my other blackjack boots. These are basically my Mad Dog Goat tan with Mad Dog Goat pearl color. It looks the same, but the pearl just a very, very subtle shade lighter than the tan. And it's one-to-one comparison. I got the snip toe, I got the cowboy underslung heel here, and Mad Dog Goat vamp and shaft. So it's a one-to-one comparison. I really love these boots. They're very simple to me. Less is more with these boots, and they stand out. Go great with light jeans. But just wanted to bring up that these are my other blackjacks, and I was comparing them to the rattlesnake. Other thoughts regarding the rattlesnake is, like I mentioned, when you walk in a room, people look when you're wearing these. They just look fantastic. So, aesthetics, style, like I said, a 10 out of 10 for me. And I definitely could see myself, getting more, different designs. Um, but yeah, I think that works out fine. And as I mentioned, after wearing them more, they did start to feel better. They still do, even though I've been wearing them for quite a lot now, they still do feel different than these. But these are a little bit more snug. These are less snug. And these blackjacks feel the exact same as these. These are another set of blackjacks. These are my sanded green lizards. And these two feel identical when I wear them. This still feels a little snug, but it's fine. It's within range. So it's not really cutting off circulation or pinching or anything. Um, Other than that, I've had no trouble, no problem. I've been conditioning the rattlesnake scales, Bickmore, and I have had no problem conditioning. I do, watch the direction of the scales. I did get some polishing and conditioning microfiber cleaning cloths specifically just for these boots. And yeah, I'm very careful to do that because the scales do run in different directions, and the different panels are of the scale. So I've got the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I guess side 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4, and then the piping down the side cuts this one, so it looks like it's 4. So yeah, so other than that, yeah, I've been conditioning them and had no problems. The scales aren't like falling off or like flicking off or drying out. Um, I'm just talking about the quality of the hide that the Black Jack has used, and yeah, so I've had no problem with this with the actual materials. Um, so that's been fine. And yeah, they've stayed, and I've been wearing them a lot more. Normally I wear my boots in rotation. I intentionally rotate them so they all get worn, none wear out super fast, and the others are just sitting there just in a box like forever. um, so I intentionally rotate them, but I did have to stop the rotation for a while to wear these, because they are just look fantastic. I really like wearing them. These are my favorite boots. These are my second favorite boots. um, but and plus I wanted to wear them more to make sure to they break them in to make sure they feel as comfortable as possible. um, so that was what was going on with that. And yeah, I haven't had any trouble, so that's why I sort of stopped the rotation. Just I want to break them in, get them worn, and you can see they're starting to wear a little bit, but not bad. I've only had them a month, so no big deal. Trying them with light jeans, dark blue jeans, green, even green, olive green jeans. It actually, believe it or not, these olive green jeans work out great with just this dark scale coloring. It they go together. And I've done some surveys on my YouTube community, and thank you to everybody who's voted in those. Um, it really helps, and to make decisions and just to get ideas and what other people think, different perspectives. And I think that's really good, rather than just what I think. It brings in new ideas, and I like that. So that's yeah, so these are great. So, but I do have to kind of set them aside and start bringing the other boots back into rotation. It's hard, but I do like the idea of Eastern rattlesnake as well. So these are Western. I do like the high visibility contrast of the Eastern. I'll probably look into those in the future. And cane brakes definitely have their own different look with the chevrons. A little more of an acquired taste, but possibly in the future. But sticking back to my blackjacks, these are the sanded green lizard these were my first pair of blackjacks. Same thing, snip toe, the medium mahogany sole finish, cowboy heel, underslung. And this has a ranch hand, um, burnished brown top, or burnished cognac, I believe. I'm sorry, burnished cognac top. So this one's different. The others these are Mad Dog, and this is a calf cow, and then this is the ranch hand. But yeah, I compared these with those, and the soles are identical when you line them up on top of each other. They are identical. So yeah, I'll be bringing these back into rotation um, once I can put the rattlesnakes down. I do have another pair of blackjacks. They are also Mad Dog Goat. They are similar to these, but they're a brown, very dark chocolate brown with a hand-tooled natural colored top. Natural, sort of almost like a pinkish, not pink, but very, very light color. Um, but they're hand-tooled with a dark ink in between the tooling. Um, but same thing, they're snip toe and the cowboy heel as well. So it's all one-to-one. I compared them against all of them to see if there was something different about these, why they felt a little snug to begin with. They were all the same. No other problems, just a couple of things. The paint on the shaft hasn't come off, hasn't rubbed off on my jeans. My jeans haven't rubbed, any dye color on them. It's been great. It's not like peeling or flaking off because I've been wearing them a lot. So yeah, the paint, I have been looking, is still all there. So they did a good job on that. And yeah, I don't think I've other than that initial snugness, and there's still a little bit of snugness, but I don't have any problem with it. There hasn't been any other problems. I really like them a lot, and I'm really going to care for them with the Bickmore conditioner, and keep them in as good condition as possible. Hopefully, they'll last a lifetime. And yeah, I'm very delicate when I do condition them. I don't just rub them and scrub them and clean them like that. No, I definitely take care of them. They they cost a good amount, and I'm going to take care of them as well as I can. Other than that, I don't think I have any other issues with them. I think I would highly recommend them from Black Jack. They fit great. They look great. Um, Although, if you do have the chance, and you can, if you are considering rattlesnake boots from Black Jack, and maybe anywhere, I would definitely see if you can go to a store and try your size on, just to see with the socks that you would wear with the boots, just to see if there is any difference with the sizing, because you may want to size up a half if they are snug. Because I mentioned one person in the comments for my review, but we were discussing the tightness, and he was having it was pinching the toes. So if you do have the opportunity to find the exact brand you're looking for at a store, and the leather, particularly rattlesnake, I would definitely see if you could try them on to see if maybe you might have to size up a half or something, or maybe even a whole, just to make sure you get it right. Because it would be terrible to do a individual order, semi-custom order, wait 10 months to a year. I waited about I think 10 months, 10 or 11 months for this order to come in, and then have them not fit. I mean, that'd be like terrible, especially with the price too. I mean, these aren't cheap. So I would recommend that if you have that ability, see if you can test them out and try them out. Other leathers, I have no problem just ordering. I know my size with them. Hadn't had any problems. The lizards, the mad dog goats, they were all the exact same sizing. I would have no problem with any other type of leather. But rattlesnake, buyer beware a little bit with the sizing on that. So yeah, if you can go to a store and actually try it, that's something I highly recommend if possible. Other than that, like I mentioned, they go great with light jeans, dark blue jeans, green jeans, even white. You could even go with a white. So whatever color jeans you prefer, or are good for the occasion, they'll work. They work, and people will notice. I'm very happy with them, very satisfied. Other than that, can't wait to get them back on. And that's going to be about it. If you have any questions, thoughts, comments, anything I missed, just throw them in the comments, and I will answer all of them. So I appreciate you watching the follow-up video. And if you didn't see the initial unboxing, go ahead and see that. I just basically went over the specs. I think a little bit more detail than the brief rundown I gave earlier. But looking forward to potentially some new blackjacks. I recommend them. All right, thank you.